Astralis side, who have gone heavy on the utility coming into this one. Both Glaive and Zipex picking up smokes. Of course, the defuse kit as well coming out for the CT side. So perhaps some opportunities for an opening as Device takes the early engagement against JW at range and absolutely rips his head off. That is not the form you want to be seeing if you are a fan of Fnatic, and they're going to have to queue up now. The 4 remaining pistols. Brolan gets the early entry. Dupree missing a couple of shots. Zipex at least able to bail him out, but Golden then Crim's come in with 1 apiece, and that's going to force the retake. Fast flank coming in from Magisk, but he needs an early frag to set Glaive loose, and there it is. Magisk with the second headshot, and it's all onto Crim's. How has this fallen apart for Fnatic?
Pure ruthless aim from Magisk. And now Crims has to lay in wait on long. They're tapping the bomb. They're trying to draw him out into the open. Neither of these players have kits, so they need to kill quickly. And Glaive is going to dispatch of Crims. Very brisk frag indeed. They picked up the kit, easily more than enough time for the defuse, and Astralis will claim first blood in this best of 3. If you go by the ESL World Rankings right now, Astralis in 2nd, Fnatic in 3rd. It goes again to show just how close these two teams are.
And I think the worrying thing for Fnatic is the form that Magisk has brought in there immediately. 2 taps, 2 headshots, 2 frags, and that's sort of what you don't want to be seeing. You want someone to have an off day on Astralis if you are Fnatic, someone to give you that little bit of an opportunity, some leverage that you can get against the CT side. But that's not going to be the case as Device picks himself up a scout, and Fnatic do go for the force buy with the bomb down, of course. They get that extra economy, so 3 Galils and JW on a scout. You do not want to count him out.
And we've already seen some utterly disgusting scout plays. Shush for Mad Lions, one of the few things they could get hype about on Dust 2, with an ace with the scout. And JW is more than capable of punishing Astralis if they overextend. That being said, Device has one of his own in terms of the players to watch. He's certainly up there. He has a 1.17 rating in the last 3 months. You always expect him to be consistent.
It's just stacked. This whole game is stacked. And Astralis, they're playing this intelligently. They're sitting back. Device actually going to be bested by JW at the first time of asking. Takes the tag on the scout. Has to fall back. And Fnatic, although they're running out of utility a little bit, they've still got map control. They've got position to work with. And Astralis haven't actually got aggressive towards that B bomb site, so they can't afford to rotate too many players away.
Certainly slowing down the pace. However, 2 smokes left for Fnatic. Astralis, the masters of utility, still possess the bulk of theirs. 3 incendiaries. One's just been tossed out to Monster, cordoning off that area, and 1 on long. And Fnatic, in the back of their minds, is going to be this little creeping doubt as to whether they have enough time. They're going to have to start to push forward, and here come the smokes. It's going to be the A hit. Device, still trained with his sights, can use the smoke to his advantage. It may not have landed on Dumpster correctly, but he's not able to put that bullet to face. Dupree, lurking in the bathrooms, going to show his position with a frag onto Flusher and a Molotov down. Not able to deny the bomb plant, but it is going to be a 4-on-4 retake with Brolan going up close against Device. Glaive spraying down with a UMP, but he gets silenced by Golden. It's still going to be Dupree hiding in the bathrooms, just hoping, anticipating a peek. He needs the rest of his team to come in, and now he's going to be building off the back of them. There's still 1 on long, however. That's JW with his scout. He spots a couple of peeks from long side, but he's missed so many bullets that it's put him down to 13 HP and makes that 0. Brolan's the last man standing, but not for too much longer. And Astralis will be getting the round under their belt, but it was such a chaotic one, Wolfie.
The pressure's put on by Fnatic, and really it came down to the damage at the end of the day. So many tags onto so many Fnatic players just allowed Dupree to reign supreme with the MP9. But promising signs for Fnatic, again, taking Astralis to the very limits, right? 2 players stay alive, they're finding bomb plants, they're finding after plant situations, and they're going to be able to force into this round as well. Krieg coming out for Brolan, JW, we've seen what he can do with the scout already, and Device desperate to take it out of his hands as soon as possible. Can't quite hit the shot on the AWP, however. And again, Astralis not looking for any early aggression whatsoever. It's not like we saw against Cloud9 on Overpass. They're falling back, they're waiting, and they're respecting Fnatic.
They're going for that early poke with Device trying to land the frag from the stairs, but after that, they just back away. They realize that overextending, especially losing an AWP this early on an Overpass, could prove to be so very detrimental. Fnatic have their economy in rough shape, but the same could be said of the Danes. Neither team is booming right now. They know With so much on the line, this really is hanging by a razor's edge in terms of economic prowess. Dupree gonna get the drop onto JW, nearly doubles up onto Broland, but that's vital information that's been gathered.
And KATOWICE just going to take a tag as well from that Krieg as the 4-on-4 looks to develop. And again, Fnatic, they've played very slowly. Dupree will be happy with that 1-for-1 trade as well, especially considering the extra damage onto Broland from the MP9, as Fnatic are going to change up the attack now, start to head down towards short and look to hit this B bomb site where Magisk and Zipex, the Clutch King, lie in wait, and Zipex falling off the angle. Magisk takes the early contact, can't quite connect though, and they're going to allow Fnatic onto the bomb site for a little while. KATOWICE then Magisk look to shut it down. Lovely one dig from Flusher, but that's all she wrote, and Broland with the Krieg in his hands with the damage from Dupree, bringing him down to 40. He's got to find the 1v3, only one to get. And Astralis again bail themselves out. But again, that buy wasn't great for Fnatic. They found 3 frags and they nearly get themselves a bomb site.
And they know that Astralis is still hanging on by a thread. Do they force again? Some teams, especially some of the French teams in bygone eras, would have definitely gone all in, but it seems they're going to be a bit more reserved. It is only 3-0, don't want to completely play yourself out. And this is maybe where Astralis and their reputation precedes them. You want to respect Astralis. You're not going to be able to cheese them or gimmick them. This is a team that is so well disciplined. Now, you mentioned about a lack of aggression. This round is very much the opposite, but they're going to get punished. Broland and his CZ suppressing Dupree, taking the weapon. It is just an MP9, but that's a Glock of all weapons that deals with Glaive, and that will be an M4.
That aggression not paying off at all for Astralis. The first time they try and take some liberties, they try and get Dupree up close and personal with the MP9, and they are punished brutally by Fnatic. 2 quick frags, and to be honest, not much damage done either. Broland's down to about half HP, but that's it. With Fnatic still having 3 smokes, 3 flashbangs, and now an M4 and an MP9 to work around, there's a world where they steal this round away. KATOWICE looking to perhaps balance those scales out a little bit, was waiting for some kind of a peak, is going to be forced to fall back now, and I think Astralis will have learned a very costly lesson there, and you can see Fnatic, they're still waiting for this aggression. Flusher is desperate to get something opening up with the Deagle, but they're going to group up instead and look to pressure Magisk because he's alone towards B.
I do wonder, based off Astralis' decision to push through middle, if they assume that Fnatic had gone for a force buy, if they assumed that they would be caught in transition of maybe trying for a B play, a connector push. Either way you spin it, though, it has entirely backfired. 25 seconds remaining. Magisk up close. This is vital information for the rest of his team, and he's put bullets to faces with 2, and that's the bomb drop. That is huge. There's so much time that he can now fend away from Fnatic, and he's gonna clutch it out as well for his team. The quad MP9 spray, and the Danes can breathe a sigh of relief.
And Fnatic can take absolutely nothing for granted. A 5-on-3, everything looking good, but Magisk comes in, finds the double kill, and with the bomb then isolated, it's all too easy, right? He gets that bomb down, he's made the call, and Fnatic, with no more support there, the round is done, leaving it a little bit too late. And Astralis will have their 4th, although Fnatic, of course, going to be going for the full buy. Krieg's AWP for JW, as KATOWICE again looking for the early contact, flashed off the angle and falls back into the bathrooms.
I mean, to put it in perspective of just how great Magisk is, if you've watched Counter-Strike for any length of time, especially this last year, you already know this guy. You already know how ridiculous this player is, but his average ADR for the last 3 to 6 months is 83.5. That's one of the highest in the entire world. This guy, every single game, is putting out damage. He is extinguishing lives left and right, and that play just goes to show you why. He can play aggressive, he can play passive. This guy can do it all.
Almost robotic in his accuracy, and that round looked like it was going to go wrong for Astralis. It looked like Fnatic were going to get a let-off, and instead, Magisk just steps in, steadies things a little bit, finds Astralis their 4th round on the trot, and now Fnatic are going to look to supply some pressure towards the bathrooms. Dupree, first one in, finds the initial headshot, finds the double spray down as well. JW only able to trade for 2 frags on his side. Fnatic again losing out in the early duels, and KATOWICE is still here. KATOWICE is still waiting for this peak to come in, and JW is thinking about giving it to him. He will as well. KATOWICE on the AWP finds a 3rd, and Broland and Flusher, what have you got for us?
Yeah, the problem with that angle is if it's an M4 or an assault rifle that you're up against, you can actually get tagged, but then you can tank those bullets and get a return kill with the AWP. If you're facing the AWP, though, There is no second chance. 18 seconds to go. Molotov tossed into the bank. They're doing a good job with the very little that they possess, Fnatic, but they still haven't pushed into a position to plant the bomb. Brolan, the youngster, is able to muster up the courage for one kill, but he's quickly dealt with accordingly by KATOWICE.
And that's perhaps a little bit worrying for Fnatic. They lose a couple of players in the opening engagement to dupreeh, yes, but then KATOWICE is having an absolute field day. Frags across the board and just making it look easy as well on that AWP. He has been in some scintillating form so far this tournament, and he's looking to continue it now as Fnatic will take the tactical timeout. Their economy feels like it's on a cliff edge at the moment. They can buy into this one. JW would have to lose the AWP and drop down onto something lesser, and the utility would be very limited. I mean, Brolan, that carry, he's trying his hardest.
He has been the main man for Fnatic. One of the reasons why they have suddenly exploded towards the top of the Counter-Strike scene. That coupled with Golden. Obviously, back in 2019, after DreamHack Masters Malmo, they decided to part ways. It was a bit of a head-scratcher. No one really understood it. I think it has to go down as one of the worst decisions in recent memory. There's a few other ones that come to mind. But they obviously realized, look, we've made a huge error here. They pick Golden back up. Surprise, surprise, they get back towards the top of the scene.
I mean, at least they're honest enough to admit they make a mistake and go back, right? It's not an Ents Alexi B situation, but...
Ouch.
I've got to go there. Astralis on a very strong fall by Magisk and Zipex, picking up the Kriegs from the previous round as well. This is starting to look like a very intimidating CT side. Fnatic, they opt to go for the half buy, down to about that $2,000 mark, give themselves the opportunity just to take a couple of rifles away. We all know what these Fnatic boys can do with Deagles in hands, and perhaps there's a glimmer of hope yet, as it's going to be an early utility fake towards that A bomb site, B bomb site even, and it's drawing plenty of rotation as well. KATOWICE is going to be making his way towards heaven with the AWP as the bomb sneaks its way out of top con and starts to put some pressure towards Banana.
That pressure has been dealt with very well so far by Astralis. It's all well and good for Fnatic to get into these positions, but what can they do with it? Just the one smoke at their disposal. Severe lack of firepower alongside them. Deagles and a CZ. Flushup trying his best to maybe keep a couple of these CTs interested over on the B side. If he can get a kill, it's unlikely that they'll over-rotate at the very least. But 30 seconds, dupreeh now starting to move into bathroom. These are the kind of aggressive moments that could backfire for Astralis. They should have lost earlier with aggression. Are they going to be forced to rue that decision? dupreeh in the smoke, though, playing statue. His patience is going to pay off for the one kill. But he should have done enough now with the information gathered, with the rotation coming in to get the round for Astralis. Nonetheless, Crims is going to make it sting, though, with his Deagle. 3 seconds. I don't think he's got enough time. He's going to try and draw out these players. He needs to die before time, if he's going to do so. It looks like he will be able to survive, but you can see the impact that has on their economy, because Flusher did die after time. He's got 2.6k.
And he didn't get the AWP either, Crims. He didn't manage to grab onto it. He got the kill onto KATOWICE. He did the hard work, but he couldn't quite reap the rewards. And now Fnatic 6-0 down against Astralis. You can feel that mountain starting to build. And they are going to go for the force buy. They are going to try and make it happen with a Krieg, 2 AK-47s, and a couple of Deagles. Firepower significantly sacrificed in favor of utility on Crimson Flusher. But they need something. Someone has to be the catalyst. And Magisk with the spray down is finding 2 early picks again. Golden takes him out with the AK-47. And at the very least for Fnatic, they may well be able to get 3 rifles now. And indeed, they are going to have 2 AK-47s and a Krieg. So they've got some firepower to work with. But again, Astralis winning the opening engagements.
It's all well and good having the tools, but the execution has to be alongside it. Smoke down onto Monster. Going to stall them that little bit more. Meanwhile, dupreeh is playing up close on the long side of the map. So that's information that's gathered. He can also quickly rotate around towards Connector if a call comes through from Astralis that it is going to be a B hit. Time, though, still plentiful for Fnatic, so they can decide to go back up Connector, which they do have control over, courtesy of JW. And now dupreeh is going to start to look for that fact-finding mission. It's not boding well for Fnatic. They've got nothing really to play off. And to make matters worse, Golden has been fragged, courtesy of Zipex. Just the 2 players remain now. JW's going to join Flusher. They don't actually have control of the bomb, but it is just behind them. And it's just going the same way, Wolfie. I mean, this is starting to get a little bit depressing if you're a Swede. Astralis 7-0 already.
It's just pick after pick after pick, and it's such a nice read again from Astralis. Magisk goes aggressive, gets the early double kill, and then there's 3 players towards that B bomb site for the remainder of the round for Astralis. They're not risking anything. dupreeh, he gets the information with an aggressive play out towards a long. Astralis 3-man stack the B bomb site. And in the end of the day, they didn't even need 3 players, right? Couple of picks just start to dismantle Fnatic, who will, on maximum loss bonus, be able to buy up. It will be 4 AKs. Flusher, again, taking the loss for his team, dropping down onto the UMP as, again, Astralis going to try some of this aggression. dupreeh making his way into the playground with the utility, but Brolin looking to catch him off guard there, and there's plenty of Fnatic presence to do so. Brolin will finally find Fnatic an opening, and could this be the start to their first round on Overpass?
They were able to capitalize on a similar start previously, and maybe Device is going to shut them down again. A hit and run, falls back into bathroom after smoking himself into safety. Well played. And Magisk opens his account in round 8, and Flusher is his prey. It's looking like more of the same. Even though dupreeh dies, and it looks pretty foolish, what they're consistently doing now with Fnatic is keeping them there on the tiptoes. Watch how slow Fnatic are at the start of every round here, Wolfie. They are eating up 30, 40, 50 seconds of Fnatic just checking all these corners and making sure that Astralis aren't pushed up aggressively. It's such a good job. A masterclass on the CT side.
Device nearly finds that pick as well. Xyp9x actually going to take a ton of damage through the smoke, down to 36, but you're right, Astralis are getting aggressive across the map. They're rotating where they put the AWPer, they're rotating their positions, and they're changing up their aggression as well, so there is no freebie for Fnatic. They can't just run out to any area of the map, but they are going to try for this A hit now. Krim's able to take down Glaive, and it's onto Device by the truck. He's being pressured from so many sides, still able to find the frag onto JW as the bomb looking to get down, but Golden wants another frag, will find it onto Xyp9x, and it's all onto Device. First no-scope, and the second. Device, the clutch, the 2v1 on that A-bomb site. And how does he do that time and time again?
I said, man, Mr. Consistent, he used to have issues in these big games, but no problems here. He also got tagged by Krims. So a lightning fast reaction. Fnatic again. I mean, it's been one of those games that, yeah, sure, Astralis are definitely worth the 8-0. But Fnatic have had a couple of chances here and there that they could have broken down the economy of Astralis. You can see, even though it is 8-0, there's actually a few players that are pretty low economically speaking. So that is the direct result of Fnatic getting casualties and making it work. Glaive nearly lines up. 3 or 4 kills, slightly off. Fnatic switching up their pace, and they're getting success thus far. Magisk, wild spray with the SG. Wishes he had an M4 maybe after all. HE's going in. Gonna be able to stop the bomb plant, which is significant because now dupreeh can play a little bit more carefully on short. He doesn't have to overextend. He doesn't have to show his hand. Flusher nearly whiffing, and Device flicking to his left. Flusher's heart must have skipped multiple beats. And now dupreeh 1 and 2. They last saw him short, but that was quite a while ago. Smoking it affords them the bomb plant. It's down to you, dupreeh. Can you clutch and keep this unbeaten streak alive?
The change of pace working out for Fnatic, and a couple of missed sprays as well coming out from Astralis, leaving dupreeh in this situation. A 1v2 to find. He has got a smoke for the bomb, and with Flusher all the way up in heaven, if he can find that pick onto JW, perhaps this round starts to be viable. JW with the deagle in towards short. Time, though, running out for dupreeh, and he's starting to think about just saving his rifle at this point. That bomb ticking down. Nothing more to be done, so Fnatic, with a little bit of a lucky one there, they find their picks on the pistols. dupreeh will just take down JW for the consolation frag, but Flusher, he's going to be able to stay up with that AWP and look to perhaps springboard Fnatic into something on their T side.
It's a solid decision because Magisk is down to $3,000. They can drop to him and muster another buy. This is that aforementioned situation that we were discussing before where Fnatic, yeah, they were losing 8-0, but there were a couple of rounds where they took Astralis down to 1v1, 2v2 situations, and so they were keeping the economy honest. This is where it catches up with Astralis. So yes, Fnatic, it's been a brutal start. There's no doubting it. But if you can claim this round, Astralis will be into an eco more than likely, and this is your chance to start to come back.
We talk about swing rounds a lot in CS, and this feels like one of them. Device trying to get the opening pick into the bathrooms, but the utility from Fnatic just a little bit too good. Glaive gonna get aggressive again. The smoke to keep Flusher at bay, and this feels like this could be crucial. They need to find an opening pick here, Fnatic. They need to take somebody away from Astralis. Device in towards the long bottoms with that AWP. Not looking to press, not looking to get aggressive, just holding his angle and waiting for his moment.
Glaive just in time, backing off. Had he have been caught out on that little ramp area and connected door peeks open and a wide swing, with him being the only B defender, that could have been the gate to another round on the Swedish side of things. But he now has strength in numbers. He's now being bolstered up with more players coming in. Fnatic again going for a bit more of an aggressive play. They've realized these slow, steady rounds are not playing in their favor. Astralis are too good to deal with that. dupreeh spraying up from the graffiti. It's a trade that goes against Glaive. He should have really done better from there. And now Crims goes in with a second. These are just every single duel going against Astralis. But dupreeh is still alive. He's still kicking and claims himself too. Device, though, on the long flank is going to not be able to stop this bomb from going down. So it's another 1v2 on the B site. But there's a peek. You expect Device to land there.
He had to hit that shot as well. With that initial miss, he's given away his position and he's given the round to Fnatic. You said Astralis would be looking down the barrel of an eco, and unless Device can pull something magical off here, they will be. He's actually going to find that pick onto JW all the same, but with time running out, he's still got to find Brolin in towards Monster. It's not going to happen. He's going to throw that smoke and try and keep his hands on this AWP. Fnatic, it was a rough start to say the least, but they're starting to find their feet now. This change of pace appears to have caught Astralis just ever so slightly off guard. It's causing them to whiff a few of their sprays as well.
As you say, just mixing up the pace, getting Glaive. And I think it was Magisk who was switching to a nade up on the ramp, the barrel area, for a free B for Fnatic. So it will indeed be into that kind of a situation where, I mean, a couple players could maybe double eco. Do they force because of that? I think they will. Realizing that they've got a bit of a lead here, double eco is definitely on the cards. May as well force while you have this up. Have full faith in yourself to get this job done and get it back into the realms of possibility.
I mean, especially with a player like Device, right? You trust him to do it, but he's not going to be able to get anything at all. Golden then Crims with a couple of quick frags. I think the second was even through a smoke, and JW is watching for this long aggression as well. He is absolutely trained on the angle. Zipex at least able to get one onto Flusher, but it's traded immediately. JW takes down dupreeh, and it's Magisk and Zipex, an AK and a Deagle to try and find something. Pushing towards A long is Magisk, and he's going to find the headshot as well. Able to take out Golden, and another headshot for Magisk before he's traded. He's made this winnable for Zipex, the clutch king himself, making the rotation in from B. And can Fnatic stop him? He's going to go aggressive.
Magisk has put this in the side of Zipex now. All of that work. Can Zipex finish off what Magisk started? The first kill's going to go his way. Smoke down. He's calculating all the possibilities inside that big brain of his. And JW trying his best to avoid all the bullets. Goes back out for a re-peek. That is classic vintage JW. Doing exactly what you don't expect him to. A re-peek there. Zipex, everything just malfunctioned. His CPU is now completely faulty.
It was so unfortunate as well, because he just drops off of that truck as JW takes the peak, right? So he's falling through the air. His inaccuracy is huge, and he can't quite make it happen. I thought for a second when he found that first peak onto Crims, we were going to see it again, but it is going to put Astralis down to the half by, as you said, looking down the barrel of a double eco. So 3 P250s, a Deagle for Magisk, and we've seen what he can do with those, right? 2 quick frags, and they're keeping Fnatic so honest. No matter what their buy is, they're finding frags, and you can see the economy never being given an opportunity to build up on the T side.
The downside for Astralis, though, is that the same could be said the other way around. Astralis are constantly into these Deagles, these P250s, these scenarios where Fnatic should be able to close the gap again. Going back into a slower, steadier pace of round, though, are the Swedes. They realize that Astralis are now onto an eco. They'd have known that the AWP was saved by Device, but as soon as they hear that M4 spraying out in the previous round, now they know exactly what's up against them. dupreeh caught in no man's land in the bathroom, and Crims will alleviate him from round 12. The rest should just fall into place here, Wolfie. It may take a while, but they're going to make sure all these angles are covered, then push onto the site. The important thing for Fnatic is they don't take too long and then walk into a couple of deagles. And, well, we saw from Aegis, he's more than capable of punishing you.
Yeah, please don't do that. Zipex with just a P250 to work with up on the A-bomb site is going to be joined by Device, but Fnatic, heeding your advice, they see that clock is starting to run out. Glaive starting to think about a flank as well, but with only the default pistol to work with as Fnatic now plan their execute. 25 seconds, they're starting to cut this a little thin. Hot flash onto Brolin, but he's not going to be punished. Still able to take out Zipex as the push comes into this bomb site. Damage being done, but again, the frag's not quite coming. So many tags, but Device and Magus, nothing they can do to stop that bomb getting down, and they're being tagged through the smoke just constantly at this point. Golden not letting sleeping dogs lie as JW gets the frag. Magisk at least able to get one on the deagle in response, but it's only that Mach 10 down. Fnatic will be very happy with how they handled that round.
Every single round is going to be a test against Astralis, and Fnatic passing the last couple with flying colors. However, there is going to be a rifle round on the horizon. Astralis just calling the tactical timeout to make sure that they have everything on the same page. Device, 13-6, could be picking up the AWP. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Brolan, 13-10. He has slowed down a little bit, but he was the only player that was mustering up any kind of success in those rounds where they went 8-0 behind. So he definitely did build a foundation on the rest of the Swedes to capitalize on. But we're in a very interesting position now, Wolfie. 8-4 seems brutal. It seems so one-sided. But these last 5-10 minutes, Fnatic have really started to wake up on their choice of map.
And Brolan has just kneecapped Astralis' economy as well. He has kept them so slim in cash. So if this round goes wrong, again, they're going to be looking at a half buy. They're going to be looking at the pistols once more. So Fnatic, another opportunity to inflict some pain on Astralis as they're going to go for the fast play again. But this time the boost is good from Astralis. Glaive, then Dupree with a frag apiece, and that is the perfect start. Glaive on 1 HP, managing to get away towards Monster, and this is exactly how Astralis would have wanted to respond. 2 quick frags, the utility coming out to allow Dupree to escape as well. That's just picture perfect.
The ideal scenario, but Astralis need to make sure they don't throw away any lives. Their economy's still in rough shape. Fnatic will be able to afford the next round. The 2 players bypass one another in connector. It's Dupree and JW, who's now moved out towards short. He has no idea there's an Astralis player still lurking in the connector side. Dupree has so much information. Even if JW shows his hand, Dupree's going to be able to quickly wrap back around just to make sure it's only JW, and they can keep those 3 players over on B. It's hard to see how Fnatic get this round done now, and Dupree completely with the element of surprise, neutralizing Crims. JW may get the drop on Zipex as well. However or not, Glaive has his back covered. I thought for a moment Zipex had just drilled him in midair. Oh, man.
It did look like it. And again, Zipex, how does he stay alive so long there? JW had the drop on him. He had everything going his way. He spotted him on the first jump peak, but the sneak so slow as Flusher at least able to get 1 consolation frag. And with Glaive on 1 HP, there's an opportunity to perhaps find a little bit more. With 12 seconds left on the clock, though, this round is looking all but done. Flusher still desperate to make something of it. Is going to go for this execute onto the A-bomb site. Nades raining out over the top. Glaive on 1 HP out towards long, but there you go. Flusher, as quickly as he's in, he's out again. Doesn't find any frags. Just going to sit inside his own smoke, and Glaive on 1 HP will finish the job. Again, beautifully orchestrated by Astralis. It's a little bit lucky with the Dupree play where he goes through the smoke at the same time as JW, but it's Astralis who again come out on top, right? That could have played out either way. JW gets the drop on Zipex, then he's got the A-bomb site for free. But instead, it's Dupree getting the drop on Crims, keeping Fnatic down towards B and buying Astralis a 9th round.
Having the clarity of mind not to make a single footstep. He could have heard JW passing him. He would have known that JW was still on the short, which is why they retreated Glaive back over onto the dumpsters to help Zipex out and saved his life. But to have that clarity and just be so calm in amongst such a frenetic round, so impressive. Astralis 9-4 to the good, stopping that 4-round win streak on the side of Fnatic.
And forcing them into another one of I'm going to call it a half buy, but it's more like a 3/4, isn't it? JW picks up the AWP. There's a Krieg for Crims as well. And then the sacrifices start to come in. Brolin on the Galil, a couple of Deagles for Golden and Flusher, who have consistently been picking up the worst weaponry to try and support their teammates. Again, Device trying to go for the early pick. Won't be able to. Pop Flash is good from Brolin. And this time there's no contest towards short. A couple of nades come out, but no real damage from Astralis as Fnatic do get a little bit of map control. JW in the perfect position to catch dupreeh off guard this time. He's not going to be wandering through the smoke. And he'll find the opening pick and perhaps another golden opportunity for Fnatic.
He may have felt responsible for that previous round, calling that connector was clear, so he's made amends. He's made the most of his situation and his opportunity. Astralis, though, have been trailing by players multiple times already and always seem to come back. I'd be really interested to know, by the way, if there's any analysts out there, how many times have teams timed out and been killed after time against Astralis? Because we've already seen it happen twice today. I feel like it happens so often because of their utility. Device now going to be peeking outside of the bathrooms just in time for Brolan, and he's able to scamper away. That avenging play did not come in quick enough from Golden. So it's a freebie, equalizing the odds. 30 seconds left, and look how disjointed Fnatic are. It's Golden that's trying to sell this fake desperately over on A. It's not drawing out all the players, though. Glaive still on short. It's going to be one-dimensional. All of Fnatic pushing through Monster together, crossing their fingers, hoping for the best. There's a crossfire being established as well. This could be an absolute massacre, or maybe not. Flusher's going to drop Magisk instantly, and Crimson Golden both come in with such important kills. Bomb plants, so much damage inflicted, but Fnatic had the flank. Golden, the one player on A, comes round to finalize. 9-5.
He had to do it as well because Zipex had found so much damage through the smoke onto Crims and still managed to find the frag onto JW as well. Golden really the lifeline for Fnatic in that one. And going into the last round of the half, Astralis, they will have the buy. It's not going to be a pretty look. A couple of MP9s and a UMP, the significant sacrifices. And all credit to Fnatic at this point. They have scrapped. They have fought in the mud to stay in this game, and they're doing so beautifully. Glaive looking to get aggressive again, looking to take that fight to Fnatic. Astralis have had mixed results with this, but Crim's fully blinded for the time being, just going to fall back, and Glaive not quite able to connect through the smoke.
Playground has been pillaged, but it's the T's that come out ahead, and Astralis give up and back away. This the choice of Fnatic. A masterful veto from Astralis. Again, we did discuss this. Both teams 4-0 in the last 3 months. Both unbeaten. Now we're seeing why. Very high level of Counter-Strike here on Overpass, but the deadlock has been broken. The curse lifted. As the Danes go 2 kills ahead. Zipex's MP9 sings, and Golden will be benched until the next half. Glaive, free beyond Brolin, who was just moving out into the open. Not really covered by the rest of his teammates. And we've been here before, Wolfie. A 2v5 in favor of Astralis, and not many options available. JW decides to shoulder peek, sprayed up from the MP9, down to 29 HP, but still going aggressively. Doesn't really have any other choices or options. There's a flank coming into fruition, but it's going to take a while for Glaive. A slight gap in the smoke affords 1 and a second kill on Device. And Astralis are going to have the 10-5 lead going through to their T side. And
it could have been so much worse as well. There were half opportunities for them to steal rounds away, and half opportunities which Fnatic took. Every opportunity they were given, they took, and that is all credit to Astralis because there were 10 rounds where there was just nothing. They shut down absolutely everything.
But they can also hold their heads high. Brolan had a really good performance. We saw glimpses from JW. This map's certainly not over yet. Let's see if they can come back after this break.
just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out.
The Astralis pain train left the station, but Fnatic were able to derail it somewhat, clawing back 5 rounds. They're now through onto CT side of their choice of map in our upper bracket finals. Winner of this, semi-finals, loser goes to the quarters. And Wolfie, this best of 3 is already living up to expectations.
Oh, everybody is popping off. It's actually ridiculous at this point. KATOWICE and Magisk and dupreeh all above 100 ADR. Brolin putting in a stellar performance in that first half and arguably single-handedly keeping his team in it in the opening engagements. It really is all to play for as Fnatic start on the CT side.
Yeah, it was quite interesting when Brolin came to the team. Obviously, it was King Crims. The guy is still performing very well, but he's dropped off a little bit. It has been Brolin. Rating-wise, kills per round-wise, and ADR. He's actually above Crims in all of those metrics. So it's great to see that there's a more young Swedish talent coming up, and we're getting around that time as well, where you have the likes of Brokey coming up from Latvia, you have Brolin, you have Zaiwu. It seems to be that next generation of player that's starting to find their way to the top of the scene.
Out with the old and in with the new, as it were. Brolin, the new, trying to get the opening pick and is able to take down KATOWICE at range to find the opening for Fnatic. And that sort of makes that boost towards short look a little more viable. Bomb going to be retrieved by Glaive, and JW in a great position towards short here. Astralis losing the early engagement, and it's put them on the back foot somewhat.
Has put them on the back foot, but they still have more than enough utility and players to make a go of this. JW gonna cull dupreeh in midair with his USP. Zipex is taking so much damage, and JW intelligently backs away. He knows he has the advantage. Why overstay and die? He tried his best to survive, but Glaive chased them down, charged in with the kill. And speaking of the IGL, one of the best fragging IGLs in the world, have you? But he is in a 1-on-4, and his position is known. He's done a bit of damage to Golden. The IGLs fight against each other, and it's the Swede that comes out ahead. So Fnatic, second pistol under their belt.
And some small mistakes made by Astralis. KATOWICE taking the early engagement, just not quite able to get the better of Brolin. And you could see Glaive didn't really want to commit to the fight. He had a full belt of utility. He'd invested all his cash in nades. And he knew that if he got taken out, he's only dropping one of those to his teammates, right? So it would have been a significant loss. Backs off and allows Fnatic to get their start rolling on the CT side of things. An easy enough pistol for them. And Astralis, without the bomb plant, going to be going for a full eco and allowing Brolin and JW to hopefully farm up some cash for Fnatic.
The 2 Molotovs planted down on the staircase affords them this aggression. They know they can't be in playgrounds. They go up, just seeing if maybe they'd push through the mollies, if they were softened up for the SMGs to rip them down and put money in their back pocket. Nothing forthcoming, so they back away. Now Astralis, a bit weakened in the form of KATOWICE, who's limping and lumbering his way with a measly 7 HP to what should be an inevitable round loss. Astralis are hemorrhaging players. And speaking of KATOWICE, he was the last player standing, but he has been laid to rest.
Really cleanly through by Fnatic. It was just simple and effective. The MP9's coming out, getting a good amount of cash on the CT side of things as Astralis. They will be able to get their first buy. It's not going to be what they would have dreamed of, however, as Glaive drops down onto the UMP, picks himself up a full belt of nades. There is still so much firepower in this Astralis roster, though. Magisk picking himself up the Krieg, 3 AK-47s for dupreeh, Device, and Zipex. And Astralis perhaps looking to emulate Fnatic somewhat with a faster play towards this B-bomb site to start things off. dupreeh looking to go straight through the smokes, playing anti-fash. He actually just bails straight out of there. And Astralis looked like they wanted to up the pace, but changed their mind at the last second.
They pull the plug. They decide better of their fast engagement. They slow things down. They still have players rummaging around in the connector area, so they have that middle portion of the map under control. They're going to be just fine to keep their options open with 1 minute and 12 on the clock. Fnatic haven't gone too aggressively. They have a different style to what we saw early on with Astralis, playing more of a centralized B stack, 4 players over there, and Brolan with his AUG on long.
The worrying thing for Astralis is they dumped so much utility into that early B execute. Just 2 smokes and a flash remaining now, as Magisk is going to be pressured, and he's going to get the first, traded immediately by Crims, but Glaive there again to bail Magisk out. And perhaps by Astralis, that little bit of breathing them they needed with the lack of utility. 4 on 3. And they're looking to come back down towards this B bomb site again. Bomb on the back of Zipex, but Astralis, they need to start thinking about where they want to go sooner rather than later. 30 seconds left on the clock. A couple of players taking short presence, and it looks like Glaive will just be the fake. Brolan can't find anything at all. Device to take him down, and that's the A bomb site open. Looking for more, in fact, as Flusher, the next one to wander into dupreeh's crosshairs. JW, surely not another headshot. dupreeh just about can't find it, but Device is there, and that is why Astralis are so lethal.
Give them an inch, they'll take a mile. They threw so much of their utility, as you highlighted at the start of the round, but then they played passively, they played patiently. And Fnatic walking onto short, gift wrapping a couple of kills across to Astralis, who could then pivot and execute into an 11-7 lead. And although Fnatic start the second half well, they've already been brought back down to earth with a bang. Astralis, so much utility on their side. Molotovs for days, already tossing one to short. Double nade stack into staircase, like the idea. Nearly yields a kill onto Device, but it's going to be the nade stack up on the graffiti side that is going to get the first kill of the round, and that's with Magisk.
Whatever Fnatic do, Astralis do one better, and the early nade kill comes in. Now Magisk and dupreeh just start to clean things up on the B-bomb site. There was a brief moment there where Glaive was towards short with nades out, and there was pressure coming through from the CT side, but they didn't opt to play for it. They didn't opt to go for it as Brolan goes through the Molotov, desperate to get anything he can done. But this is looking like a very dominant round again from Astralis. Magisk finds one more. Zipex cleans things up, and all 5 players stay alive. That's going to be important. 4 more rounds is all that stands between Astralis and stealing away Fnatic's map pick.
This is always the terror, though, of playing Astralis. Like, as we said, Mirage is going to get banned. Then after that, they can play any map. They're fine with any map at all. So Fnatic coming through thinking, right, we'll play to our strengths, which you can respect. You can appreciate that. You've got to have confidence you can win your own map against anybody on the planet. But Astralis, one of the best overpass teams out there. It was never going to be an easy ordeal, and so far Fnatic are struggling. But they do have a solid buy here to try and turn their fortunes back around.
Interesting that Device, again, doesn't go for the AWP on the T side of things, perhaps expecting to see a slightly faster initial play out. But again, Astralis just going to sit back. They're not going to dump utility towards the B-bomb site on this occasion. Happy just to wait and see what comes through. Device, the first one to go wandering out towards these bathrooms, and Brolan is on the angle. He's going to win the aim duel as well, find the opening pick, and that means it's go time. Astralis, they take short control off the back of that loss, and they're looking to commit to this B-bomb site. All 4 players here, utility abound for Astralis. But do they go for it? Glaive with the Molotov out. All 4 players still very passive. Nobody really looking to put the pressure on towards Monster, so the Molotov will come through, and that will stall Astralis yet again.
Still 50 seconds, though, and those flames of the incendiaries will start to subside, will start to extinguish. Astralis have the ability to crack open this site, annul the marriage that Fnatic have put down onto B, and Magisk goes in first with Zipex. It's all going the way of Astralis once again. Fnatic have been waiting patiently for this opportunity. And JW's AWP is going to have no impact. Simply put, B got cut out so quickly. And Fnatic already on the back foot to save. I'd be surprised if they went in for this with their economy in such rough shape. Surely you save the AK and the AWP, and it seems they're deciding to agree. And they back out of there. But Astralis with a 13-7 commanding lead.
Just so efficient on the trade frags as well, right? Magisk goes down so low in the opening engagement. Immediately the refrag comes through from Fnatic, but who's there? Zipex. He's watching his teammates back and he's finding those refrags so consistently. They just crack open that B bomb site. And honestly, with the amount of health remaining, if Fnatic had known that, I could have seen them going for it, but as it stands, they opt to save the AWP and the AK-47, the utility behind it as well, as Astralis go within 3. And they'll know Fnatic, they're starting to run out of opportunities to drag this one back.
Yeah, we are getting towards the last chance saloon for Fnatic. I need to order a couple of doubles of liquid courage. You have to feel if they're going to pull this one, but Astralis, steely resolve, such a difficult team to get back into. Even if they lose a couple rounds in the bounce, you always know that they are fully focused, dialed in. And that flashbang is absolutely perfect by Zipex. Crims couldn't see a single thing. The spray's not quite on point, but Device is there with his AWP. And JW had no hope, no chance. And that really does feel like the summary of this map for Fnatic now.
Just summarizes Astralis so beautifully as well. Glaive, he can't quite do it. He's not got that spray at all. But who's there? Device, backing him up, bailing him out with the AWP, you could say. And a 5-on-3 again with an AK save from the previous on the back of Brolin. Golden with that P250 and Flusher still stuck on the default pistol. Astralis looking absolutely set for 14 at this point. Just need to get through this round cleanly. And all credit to Fnatic, they've done damage, right? They've found a lot of health away from dupreeh, but they've just never been able to commit and find the frag they've been looking for. So a 2-man stack of the bathrooms. Golden going to try and get something going out towards the B bomb site, but as the information's gathered and Astralis look to plan this execute, time still very much on their side.
Magisk takes the fight to a USP-wielding Flusher. Good luck to you, Flusher. He's doing a pretty damn good job, dropping Magisk to 1 HP. Any other pistol in the game, and that's a kill. So you have to feel a little bit sorry for him, but Astralis, 25 seconds to put Fnatic out of their misery. AK-47 for Brolin. He's done a really good job here of pinstream around the side. It's 2 kills. He's gone through onto Magisk as well. The bomb's not been dropped, so it will still be able to make a move over on A and get planted. That was maybe the last hope of if Brolin could have caught the bomb in transition. So Astralis can settle back down again, and Golden has been plucked off the server, 14-7. I was just getting a bit excited there, Wolfie, but then realization hit.
It was just that brief moment where you went, maybe, Brolin. You've done it so many times for Fnatic. Can you find one more? But it doesn't quite come through. And the Fnatic will use their 3rd tactical timeout to try and work out what they can do at this point. This is their buy. This is their moment where they need to change something. They need a change of fortunes. They need some frags, if I'm quite frank. Brolin's just about dropping the 20 bomb. Flusher has had a very rough game. Only 5 kills to 17 deaths. And it's a very different picture on Astralis' side of things. Magisk on the 20 bomb, everybody above and starting to middle in towards 15 frags. It's such a team effort across the board. And they've just looked like the Astralis we know and love, right? They've looked so good.
8-0 lead to 8-4. And you thought, okay, Fnatic, you've got a chance now. You've got a real opportunity to come back into this. And then the door was just slammed in their face. And the Danes walking pretty briskly towards the finish line. Molotov's tossed out, not really going to affect Device whatsoever, but he is alone, isolated from the rest of his team, but he's still going to press forward. Does tag JW, but the Fountain comes to his rescue. Just losing 27 HP. It could have been so much worse. Elsewhere, though, Golden has been silenced by an SG. Device, he's going to meet his maker by Brolan's hands, and that's going to be an AWP if they decide to pick it up. They decide against it, though.
That's information as well. They know there's nobody pushing up through that area of the map, but the B hit's still going to be so lethal. Magisk with the headshot to take down Flusher and Crims. How long can you stall? He's going to find the first onto Magisk, and that's allowed JW to rotate in as well as he finds a quick headshot, and suddenly the tables start to turn. Zipex and dupreeh to try and clutch this one out, but dupreeh, he's nowhere to be found. He's still clearing his way through Connector, and that's going to cause Zipex just to stall, just to wait for a moment and wait for that support from his teammate. He can't find this 3v1 on his own. He's going to have to try and see what dupreeh can muster up, as he's going to start thinking about the flank up towards this A-bomb site.
They may throw dupreeh on the end of a fishing rod and try and bait him into Fnatic and see if they bite down fully. He is on a suicide mission to get onto A. And he's been found in the back. There's no second player forthcoming. So at this stage, Fnatic must realize it's a possibility B. They may think that the second player was moving through long as well, which is why they're sticking around this vicinity. Zipex does have opportunities to get the bomb planted. Obviously, from his perspective, he's not sure as to where these 3 remaining CTs are. Bomb plant, right side of the pillar. He smokes off. He actually comes off the bomb prematurely. He's going in for another plant, but it's out in the open. He knew the smoke was still down for a few more moments, was trying to make the most of it. It's a nice try, but Fnatic, for the first time in a while, strike gold.
And they needed that round. That was it for them. They had to find success. Keeping the Krieg as well onto Crims is always going to be significant. And Astralis, not yet on the back foot, but at least forced back a step. They're going to be able to buy into this one. They're going to have full rifles across the board. Device is going to pick up his favorite AWP, of course. And Fnatic will know they are holding on by a thread at the moment. It will take one mistake for this to be done. Device going to be held off by the early Molotovs, but Magisk with a second smoke to allow him to go through, and a fast playground take coming in from the T side. Astralis wasting no time at all, as Brolin's going to be put under pressure towards long. The flashbang forces him back, and he takes a lot of damage as he retreats as well, down to 39 HP. This fast play from Astralis working out so far, but the counter-aggression is coming in from Golden.
That's where you see the utility of Astralis really just hampering any aggression from the CT's perspective. I'd like to see Fnatic go and connector, but they just don't have the opportunity to. Golden picked off first again, not for the first time in this match. He goes down early, not really offering Fnatic too much. And now JW has to hold the line. He's not by himself. He has Brolan, who's perched up in the bathrooms, who took the first point of call through middle. Molotov out, bomb still dropped back towards the bathroom long side. 50 seconds at their disposal. Astralis slowly but surely maneuvering their way in. Still have 2 Molotovs, still have 3 smokes and 2 flashbangs, more than enough to impose their will on the A site. Device peering around the corner, misses his shot. JW goes in. If that goes down to Brolan, it's doable. It's possible that Fnatic win it. JW, last bastion, has fallen down without getting any extra kills, and now Flusher and Crims have got to try and keep the dream alive. They may go for this, especially now that Flusher has perforated the head of Magisk. Device has the right idea. The timing's slightly off, but there's the flick, and Crims can do no further part in this 1v3 that it now falls upon with Flusher. And as you highlighted, he's had a really rough go of it today. He is 6 and 18, and that's going to add to another death on that tally. Astralis, 7 map points.
Glaive relentless, not redundant, relentless in holding him down and hunting him as well, making sure Fnatic have absolutely nothing to work with coming into this last round. They're going to invest, of course they are. They're going to buy everything they possibly can, but there's no single player there who can pick up a rifle. JW is going to pick himself up a scout. Flusher with the deagle and utility to back it up. There's 3 deagles, an MP9 and a scout. That is all that stands between Astralis and victory here on Overpass. And they know it. They're going to go fast again. They know the economy is busted for Fnatic, so they're just going to take fast control of the playground with barely any utility committed as well.
Brolan in connector. Right idea, right timing. Nearly burns alive. Nearly had a Brolan barbecue. But he's able to trade across to the M4 and keep connector control. If he continues to push up there, he may find the bomb, but it would do him well to take that connector. Now, I said in the last round, I'd like to see them take more connector control, so it's beautiful to see Brolan go in there. Is it too little, too late? JW with the scout, not too far off, connecting his second headshot of the round, and that smoke will give him a chance to try and push in there, but dupreeh has read the script. He knows exactly the kind of player JW is, and he just sprays up through. 4-play-3, and it seems like flanks are actually going to move past one another. Brolan going into bathrooms, not realizing that Zipex is just behind him in middle.
I think Zipex might have just seen the shoulder as well. You could see Astralis meticulously covering their flank. Dupree going to take a fair bit of damage though, and now Brolin should be able to start to get this information. Zipex desperate to get the bomb onto the site as Dupree's gone down to 1 HP trying to hold this off. Bomb will get planted at this point. It's a 4-on-3 retake, but the fast play can come in for Fnatic here. They've got an opportunity with Dupree so low on HP. This could be the clutch. Brolin on the backstab. Dupree gets one, but the trade is immediate, and as Dupree goes down, it's all onto Magisk and his Krieg. 3 frags required. He's playing this perfectly so far. He'll get the spray down for the first. Brolan low on health, but there's a smoke on the bomb, and over the top of it, Brolan will find the frag. The one-man army for Fnatic. 3 frags in the round, and they are 1 round away from double digits. They're starting to think that they can maybe make this happen here on Overpass.
He is going above and beyond. 99 ADR, 23 kills, 17 deaths against one, if not the best team in the world, maybe, some would argue, of all time in CSGO. Cannot fault this performance. It gives Fnatic another lifeline. It may be brief, but there's hope.
Let's see what they can do with hope. Crims and Brolin are going to have the Kriegs on the CT side of things as well, so there's tons of firepower available now for the CT side in stark contrast to their previous round. But what do they do with it? JW aggressive with the MP9. Astralis not leaving anybody up to cover this, and JW might start to get some sound cues, might start to get an idea, and might even feel like he wants to get aggressive behind this one, and you could see them just hearing the smoke. Astralis, but all 5 players, they're still going to commit. They are not messing around. This is a fully fledged hit of the B-bomb side. Golden, fully blinded, taken down to open things up, and Crims with that Krieg, he can do absolutely, I was going to say nothing, and he finds Dupree still inside the Molotov. Dupree burns, and Crims gets something going for his team in towards water, trying to stay alive, but he can't quite do it. Zipex with the trade, and 4-on-3. Fnatic have to get into the bomb site. Molotov's being dropped relentlessly by Astralis as they make absolutely sure Fnatic will not be given an early entry. Brolin can get nothing with the Krieg. Device rips his head off, and JW and Flusher, they've got to give this a go. Flusher at least able to get 1 onto Device. 3-on-2, and JW has got to find something here. Flusher's position is known. JW is the one unknown factor remaining. Smoke is good and starts to cut the information away, but the leg of JW is visible. Magisk gets the first, and it's all onto Flusher. He finds 1, but that's all she wrote. Astralis with the victory on map 1. 16-9 the scoreline on Overpass, and some worrying signs for the Swedes.
Next, we're heading to Vertigo. I'm not entirely sure if I believe that Fnatic can pull this one back. And then, of course, our third map will be Inferno. But first and foremost, Overpass. 8-0 start for Astralis. Couple of rounds where Fnatic had opportunities. They didn't quite grab onto them. It was really only Brolan to start things off. We saw glimpses of Crims and JW. But if they're going to have any chance of Vertigo, surely they need someone to help Brolan out. Like, this is getting a bit ridiculous now.
Yeah, there has to be a second player on that server. I mean, JW went 16-20, so he didn't have a bad series, but he didn't have a good one either, right? And the thing is, when Brolan's stepping up like that and trying to carry you so hard, you can say most of those 9 rounds are Brolan. So if one other player starts to turn up and one other player starts hitting their shots and finding their frags